it's so short that you don't hardly notice it, but it's not clean like you see the cuts on TV. So I have saw them and tried to correct them, and of course I try not to edit over the same spot over 3 or 4 times because of what they said about losing the quality. But you just have to try that a few times and see what happens. I never have really done it to where I started losing quality that I saw. And as we went over the fair, we was talking there, me and Bob, and we was talking about the digital, our digital mixers, the MX1. They'll have to come out with a new one now with a FireWire connection so that you can use all them fancy digital effects and still keep that digital quality. So that'll be something along with the VCR when they get to it. And I had some Lightwave 3D through the toaster there that you was looking at there, Jim. I've done I've got a lot of the transitions and stuff that I can use through the MX1, and then I go over and me and another guy and play with the video toaster. And fellas, we went to a seminar this week before last, I guess it was, to see the Media 100 digital. It was an editor similar to the Flyer that comes with the video toaster, and it showed us a lot about compression, which I learned a lot, and so Jim said he did too, and Bob. I knew that it took quite a bit of memory to compress one picture. They said 600 megabytes for 600K for one picture, and that would give you like 3 pictures per megabyte. But when you cut it down to 3, which they did, because the old saying was it took a megabyte per picture, but really they said it took 600K, and with their new compression board, you can compress it at 300K and get really good quality, and of course you get 3 pictures per megabyte. And then if you cut that down to say 100K, you'd get 3 times as much, but your quality would drop unless you was using a cheap video camera, which could be a VHS. Then maybe 100 or 150K would be as good a quality as you was had in the first place. So then if you use that, you can't improve the quality, you can only keep what you got. So we learned a lot about that. That was very interesting, and it takes a lot of memory to do it good, but of course the more detail you have in a picture, the more memory it takes to get a good detail back. So I enjoyed that seminar on that Media 100, and I already have that demo tape that I got some time back. I think some of them was asking too about, I don't know if it was Jim or not, somebody was asking about the RC flying. Well, I've been flying RC for since 1970, and started in '63 with control lines. And I've got an 8.5 foot wingspan, and that's radio control. And Jim was commenting on that 10 foot wingspan C5A that I saw. I'll have to put a picture of that on. It's a snapshot, but I can put it on here and show everybody what it looks like. Maybe next time. And then plus I'll try to get out some video I've got of a 10 foot model of flying. It's a Cessna 310. It's radio control. Has twin engines, and it was just a flying champ. It just looked like a real thing, and maybe I can get that out next time and put it on next time. So now we're gonna go down here to Bob's clips on them demos showing his camera compared to the digital camera, using a split screen. Well, I thought that looked really good, and Bob's camera does do a really good job. It does a really good job. It's really clear, and of course it don't come up to the digital, but I think it's right there next to it. Them high 8s are all good cameras. Well, I get real good pictures with my 450, but it's not too good in like where we're shooting here at the fair under this roof. With that 450, you get pretty poor quality. We got to play with some chickens that just hatched out, and we was going to stay there and film one, but it took a little too long for them to get out of the shell. It took about 30 minutes or something after they had already broke the shell. It took about another 30 minutes to get out of there. And Bob's daughter took Jim and I and all of us out to eat lunch there the other day for his birthday, and we appreciate that. Tell her that we thank her a lot for that, Bob. And I hope Bob enjoyed it, because he wasn't expecting us to be there, but he might have suspected a little something by her coming calling him over to babysit on his birthday. But I think he was really surprised, because we parked up the street and he didn't know what to think when he turned around and saw us. And so me and Bob and I have been out at the fair filming this week, and last week Jim and Bob and I went out to that that seminar, and so we've been keeping busy. And Steve had some nice scenic pictures there of downtown Boca Raton, and I enjoyed that. And of course, I've never been to Florida. My wife used to live in Florida when she was young, but I never have been down. Closest I've been there was Fort Benning, Georgia, when I was in the Army, and we went over into Alabama there on maneuvers, and that was about as close as I got. It wasn't too far on down, I don't guess, to Jacksonville, which is nowhere. That's toward the top, and I think also back there a minute ago, I forgot to mention that Jim asked me about that four-wheeler up the farm, and yeah, my son got that about 10 years ago. We used to ride our tractors around over the farm. It's about a half mile across the farm, and it takes a little while to ride across it in a tractor. So he got that quad, and now we can get on it and ride through the woods and everything. And my son lives on one side on 131, and my daughter is building her house on the other side on Belfast Road, and it's about a half mile between the two houses. So it's around really a couple miles or so around there by road, but if you take a shortcut back across the farm, it's about a half a mile. So, and this guy just come up on the screen here is, I think Bob left his biddle stick out there laying on the ground when we was watching this guy make these little miniature horseshoes. So I hope you got back out there and found that, Bob. And back to Steve, I hope them spurs are a lot better now. And I know that from my son and my daughter and my wife, all of them have had problems with that. And really the best thing you do, I guess, is stay off of them to make them get better. And if you're retired, you might be able to do that, but it's awful hard. Me and Bob says all the time, we just don't know how in the world we ever worked. When I told my wife that when I first retired, a little bit before she did, she couldn't understand that, that I was so busy I didn't have time to do nothing, but that's the way it is when you retire. I guess you get so many irons in the fire that you just can't keep up with them. And I think Steve mentioned the toaster flyer too on his tape. which is about what our Media 100 seminar was. It was the same thing, except it's made by different people. And both of them would be really nice to have, that video toaster and the flyer, which would let you do all that we saw out there with the that Media 100 that we saw. Yeah, and I got to see Sid and Trudy. And of course Sid was real young in his shot. And we got to see his wife, now. And we also got to see his granddaughter and grandson. And but he is like the rest of us, I guess. He does all the picture taking, so he's not in too many of them. But Sid, you need to be getting around there in front of that camera a little bit and let us see you. And then plus you can pick us a little tune there. You never have got around to that yet. Well, this guy here making these little horseshoes, that's really neat how he done that. Put all the little holes, indentations in it, and it took him a few minutes there. That's about actual time there as we was filming that. And let's see what else I got on my papers here. I wanted to get Sid to get in front of that camera and make some pictures of him, and then I've got a few things that I wanted to stick on this. Well, I probably won't get on this tape, but I've got some things that I'd like to put on the other tapes. One thing is I've got quite a few, I guess, flying over the years, and then vacation tapes and things where we went to the beach and a lot of interesting things. And then, of course, me and Jim and Bob are out filming stuff here. Like we've been out, we took our camera out to the seminar, but since we was in there in the dark, well, we couldn't do much filming over there. But then, of course, Jim got over there and sneaked and got some pictures of that show that they was making for PBS, and they got after him and wanted his tape. Well, they got on us over at Fair too, cause we was all right up there next to the cable man, where these guys were going to ride 3 sickles inside this round ring. Me and Bob was up there with our cameras all at the ready, and this guy said, "No, you can't take no pictures, no video cameras." Said somebody took pictures of us some time back, and we had an accident, and they sent it to Funniest Videos. And he said that wasn't funny. So we'd have to agree with that. That wasn't funny. And Bob said he was going to sneak back over there.